Hi, everybody. Well, this is Charles Harper, and I've got a friend of mine. His name is Paul Counts. You probably know him already. He is a prolific product creator, and he has really been in the game for a little while, a lot of experience, and we're going to be talking to him today because one of the things we've been talking about recently is other ways that we can create and sell information products. And you have probably seen, I've probably seen people starting to show up in your news feed and other places that they are now starting to move back to live workshops, and it's really weird. Paul, I know this has
Yeah,
really been kind of crazy, hasn't it? That
it
everything
is.
comes full circle.
It really does. It really does. And I think part of it's because it's a way people can connect, right? It's a different way you can connect with your audience. It's kind of like, postcards are having a resurgence, and
Yep.
people, I know some guys that are marketing with postcards and doing JV invites through postcards. And it actually makes a lot of sense because we're so inundated with emails. It's still a great way to promote, and I still highly endorse email marketing, but, there is a lot of noise out there and distractions. So I think any way you can get in front of your audience that's different than what's going on right now, you're going to stand out. And so if that means going full circle, then that's what's happening right now.
Paul, one of the things that I know people tell me that when they have to actually get in front of people, even if it's on a webinar, one of the
Yeah.
problems is what do you teach people? So I know you've got kind of a handle on that. So if I want to do a live webinar, I can get an audience together. How do you suggest that we go about this, putting something together that people are really going to want to hear?
Yeah, definitely. So, I'd say one of the first steps is just kind of knowing what your audience wants to know. So it's obviously understanding what their pain points are, what kind of issues they're struggling with, what things you could help them with. And a lot of times, I know when I'm structuring my training and content, I want to try and zero in on a couple of key elements or key points. So I want to focus on, like let's say I know people keep asking me about how to do membership sites or how to build an
Hmm.
email list. And so I'll design a webinar that teaches people a simple approach to getting started in that direction. Obviously, you're limited in time. So, when it comes to webinars, you can only create so much. But one thing for me is that I've created a lot of great information products just from a webinar. So
Yep.
I'll do the training live, and I'll sell access to the product before I even have it finished because I'm able to interact with my audience. And actually, they can help me grow the product as well because they'll give me feedback or they'll tell me what they want to see. So to me, it's actually one of the quickest ways to create a product in a course because you can actually sell something without having to create it all, but it kind of puts you on a timeline too because you got people relying on you. So it's a really good
Right,
way to
right.
go. But at the same time, it's a great way to digest content too because people are able to interact, they're able to sit there. And so, I try and keep it simple. With my webinars, I try and make sure that the content is actionable so they feel like they got some value out of it. And that to me is the key. And I've really been able to build up my following and my reputation just by doing webinars and live teaching. And, I get comments a lot of times because people can tell, they can pick up if you're sincere or not
Hmm.
in their
Hmm.
success. And so I think that's another benefit to doing live workshops or even live webinars, if you will.
One of the other things is that I've been saying that it's kind of one of these things that I'm not trying to slug it out with people online. It's
Yeah,
almost a way that if you're not at, guru status yet, that you can kind of develop this loyalty with people that may not be right into like the
yeah,
whole online thing.
yep, exactly. And so there's areas, like where you can tap into. Like, what's amazing to me is that how many people want to run an internet business, but how many people aren't even connected in our space, So there's so many people that I get asked all the time, even from my own circle of friends, other people at church or people that you run into on a daily basis. They're just always intrigued by the fact that I run an internet business. They know it's different. They know it's unique. And so, I've realized if I start branching out more into live workshops and live events and doing, live trainings, you're going to be able to reach people that generally probably aren't on the email list or they're not searching online, but they might go to a live event, because like you pointed out, those kind of people are out there. There's people out there that aren't necessarily on the email list. They don't
Hmm.
understand this niche. And so once you start telling them what it is you do, their eyes just, open up, and it's like a light bulb moment for them. And, even people that are celebrities,
Right.
you talk to them about it, and they're just like, what? You do what? So it's foreign, to a lot of people. So it's cool, and that's, to me, all the more reason that I want to start getting out there more and doing more of these live events. I did one in California, and it was fun just, because you can see people's reactions. You can be there to help them, along the way. And so to me, doing these live workshops is a really great way. It's something I'm going to actually do a lot more of moving forward.
Paul, tell me a little bit more about that workshop in California. What was it that I think if you could look back, is there any one thing that you look back and you said, you know what, I hit it out of the park when I did that? Because I think that could really help people. What's one thing that you really think that you did in that workshop that was phenomenally successful?
Yeah, so one thing that was probably phenomenally successful, and I kind of hold this true with pretty much anything I do, is, I went up there and I gave it my all. And I don't, I have my notes and I know what I'm going to talk about, but I just kind of speak from the heart in everything I do. I give people the truth. I give people the honesty, in whatever presentation I'm giving. And that, to me, just comes through. People can see that. I don't like sugarcoating things. I like making sure people understand that, hey,
right.
You can make money online, but this is what you have to do. And so intertwined in there, one thing that I absolutely loved when I went back and watched that particular workshop was there was a lot more self-help motivation than I realized put into it. So so it was the training, which was really good, but there was a lot of material that I gave which was designed to inspire people and get them to take that action and give them examples, of ways that I overcame odds in order to get to that level, where we're at. So that, to me, was probably, the best thing, and it's one of those things I would encourage anybody to do, is just be honest, be yourself. You don't have to be at a certain level, in order to get in front of a group of people. If you, have materials in front of you that you can present, you can speak from authority. So that, to me, would be probably my takeaway and my advice for other people.
Is this something that a newbie marketer can do? Can I get started with just a body of information and then be able to kind of get in front of people? If this is something where somebody they know they can gather an audience, but they're new, Paul, what would you suggest that they do to approach doing a live workshop?
Oh, yeah, definitely. So if they're brand new, it's probably going to help you out if you have, kind of some guidelines that you can work from. So whether it's notes, whether it's transcripts from somebody else that's already done a live workshop, PowerPoint presentation files that kind of help make it easier for you to kind of put your presentation together. So, that's going to help you a lot if you had those kind of templates to tap into. Not all, you don't always have those at your disposal. So, if you don't, I would just encourage people to really put down all the information and knowledge they have. And then there's all these different websites online, too, that people can start marketing. There's Eventbrite. There's Facebook groups and Facebook events. You can do press releases. You can actually get yourself into the local media. So you can actually do a press release. I've actually had some good success, even with our movie and stuff, getting into press coverage, getting the media to take notice. And one thing I've learned over the years, I had a front page story in my local town for an affiliate website, one time. I had an affiliate website that was selling college textbooks. It was called Thrifty College Student. And, it just was giving people lower price deals on college textbooks. And it made the front page of a newspaper. Then I had a general e-commerce website, the most basic, drop shipping model, which is phenomenal and works well, but just a basic, everyday e-commerce store in the pet niche. And it got in the Oklahoma City newspaper, and so the thing is, if you're doing a live event, you can get in all these calendars. There's local calendars. There's Facebook groups and calendars. There's Eventbrite. There's all these different, places online now where you can actually promote your events locally. So, I would tap into those resources.
Have you found that, if you have a face and body made for radio like I do, do people really care about that? When you get in front of people, are you finding that people are kind of really into your appearance, or what have you found when you've done this?
No, I don't find that they are, especially even when I go to live internet marketing events. I tend to come in and, I'm who I am, so For me, I don't necessarily have that face or body that everybody'd be like, oh yeah, but it works. You're just yourself, and you're a human being up there, and that's really what it boils down to. I mean, I've seen some of these guys that are very well known speakers, and you wouldn't look at them and go, whoa, but they're doing their thing, and making great headway, and because really at the end of the day, people don't care about appearance; they care about content and quality and being genuine and honest and open. And so that's what I find, So I quit worrying about what anybody cared about, how I looked. I knew I was always going to offend somebody, no matter what you do in life.
Yeah,
I think somebody's going to be offended. So you just be yourself, and so, for me, and one thing that's slightly different for me too, even when I did this workshop, I was casual. I wore like a polo shirt and jeans, and some people, they think you need to go in a suit and tie, but if that's not your personality, for me, I look at it as I'm teaching people how to run a business that's a lifestyle type business that they can run on their terms. They can work when they want, where they want. So to me, why do I want to come in wearing a sport coat and tie? Because that's not genuine. That's not how I'm working,
Right.
I don't work my day wearing a sport coat and tie. That's, I did that for 8 months, and then now I run my own business.
Yeah, exactly.
So that had its place, but yeah.
You've actually, ever since I've kind of come in contact with you, you've always helped marketers by giving them materials that they didn't have to create themselves. And I know you've got some things that you can use, that you've got available that marketers can use to do their own live event. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, definitely. So actually that Money Counts workshop that we did that's the workshop you were talking about in California. I actually decided just recently to sell rights to it. So originally I was just going to sell the workshop recordings. It was a closed-door workshop, invite only, for some people we knew down there. And so, we were just going to release the recordings themselves. But we decided to kind of take it up a notch and offer the rights. And so that means I'm having every single word that I said, it's transcribed. So everything that I said is transcribed, written down. The PDF notes that I used are going to be available to people. The PowerPoints are going to be available. So everything I used to do the workshop is all going to be there. Not to mention the recordings, so people could actually sell the recordings if they choose to. But, and they're professionally edited as well. And so the other part, they don't have to sell the recordings. They could actually just take the presentations and start their own presentations, or they could sell it as their own product. And to kind of touch on what you were talking about is, I create products called private label rights products, or products with licensing rights. So that means I create the content, and then people can actually go out there and sell the products, and they can, instead of having to create a product, which I believe product creation is a great way to go. I teach that. Yep. I'm, firm believer in that. But there's times where it is easy to take a product that's already made, maybe make a few tweaks to make it fit your audience, and then get it out there. So we provide those resources. I've been doing that for many years, and I feel we put a lot of effort into those products to ensure they're top-notch. So I'm very, very excited about the Money Counts workshop, because this is actually the very first time I've offered licensing rights to a workshop. So it's going to be a pretty amazing offer.
And this is really interesting, because just in the month of February, I had the opportunity to give personal enrichment workshops. And
really?
You know what the problem was, Paul?
Yeah.
The problem was that at the end of the workshop, these people were asking me for something. And I put so much into getting ready, I didn't have anything to sell them. Right? And I could just kick myself for not having that. And this would have been perfect, because I could have put something together, so at the end of this thing, I've got these 15 people in 5 workshops. I could have very well packaged something up and sold it to them.
Definitely. Oh, no question. And that's where private label rights content comes into play, is that you can, and one thing I tell people too, so even if you have a front-end product, you have a front-end product, but you really need to have a one-time offer, PLR makes a perfect upsell, allows you to put in an upsell. Or in your case, it allows you to have something to sell, because you put so much time in. And I totally understand. I've been there before, where you do a great presentation and you didn't have anything ready. And so, that's one of the reasons I like PLR and why I've got into that space, because it does give people that, it basically fast tracks the process in a sense, because you're not having to worry about, especially if you know it's quality. And I put it, basically my rule of thumb is, if I'm not willing to sell the product, or if I wouldn't buy the product or buy the licensing rights, then why should I sell it? And so like our products, like our PLR, one of our most popular selling products was, it was a top seller on ClickBank without rights, and we still sold rights to it because the market's so big. So a lot of people might even question them, like, why would you sell rights? Because the market's so big, but, or because, it's going to get saturated. Well, the market's huge, as you know. There's a lot of people out there wanting to do this. And then the whole offline approach that you've brought up here, Charles, is another way to differentiate yourself from that market. And this Money Counts workshop gives you that opportunity.
I really like this. So now, in case someone is thinking, Paul, can they go two ways? Because so I guess they can go two ways with this, right? You could actually do the workshop and charge people to come to the workshop.
Yep.
Or you could do the workshop free and sell it at the end.
Exactly. Yep. There's two totally different approaches. Yep. You could do the workshop, charge them, and then, or you could, like you said, do it free and then offer them maybe coaching or something on the end. So maybe you're going to coach them to success, or maybe you're going to take more private label rights products and you're going to put those in and bundle them up and sell them as a package deal when you're done with your workshop. And on top of that, if you get people in the door, you could have a camera set up that does testimonials about you. And so right there, you've all of a sudden added 5 to 10 testimonials to your arsenal, and you could use those for all your future projects and pretty much catapult yourself online. So this live event gives you that opportunity.
Man, I really like this. Guys, here's what I'm going to do. If you go over to gainmindshare.com/counts, whenever you're listening to this, at this point, Paul's going to have this available. I'm going to make it available to you too. And I'm actually going to give you some other things that will show you how to get people to your event. And I think that this will really help you. This is really, I just really wish you had this when I did these workshops, because I would have been able to have something to sell. But guys, if you're listening to this, you will actually be able to do this. Paul, so tell us now, when I get this, right, what do you think? Like, what's the first thing I ought to do when I get the Money Counts workshop? What's like the first thing I ought to do so I can really just start getting started on getting toward doing my workshop?
Yeah, definitely. I would say the first thing would be to pull up the PowerPoints and start going through the PowerPoint slides that we're offering you. And if you want to change the name of the workshop, like we have it called Money Counts, but that's the beauty of PLRs. You can change it as you want to change it. So you could call it, Charles Success Workshop. You could go in and just change the title slide, and change anything else that references Money Counts in there, and then you've got your own complete workshop. You could take out the part that has my bio, make it your bio. You could even leave that part in if you want. That's the beauty of this one, is that we're allowing people to kind of, basically piggyback off my credibility and the fact that I've been doing this so long, so that you could, say, hey, I've teamed up with this person that's done, that's been earning money online for 14 plus years. And so going through that PowerPoint is going to be the first bet to getting to that workshop, because then you're going to understand what material is being presented, what's being talked about. And then I would open up the transcript. You can kind of read through what I've done. And then from there, I would just set up a very basic landing page. We actually even have sales page template that's included. So you could actually start from that sales page template and use it and position it in a way to sell people to a live workshop. And then you start sending traffic through Facebook. You could do localized Facebook ads. You could do a short little video of you just standing in front with a camera, and then put those up as a video ad. And you could run a video ad that targets people in your area. Do an Eventbrite campaign, Facebook calendar listings, so anything you can think of to get it out there. Craigslist has event listings. That's a great spot to go. So tap into those. A lot of radio stations, they have calendars on their website, community calendars. A lot of newspapers do as well. So just, go out there. And your first event, you might get 10 people, 5 people. You might not get a lot of people. But if you look at it as a way to gain that experience, you're going to be better the next time. So it's not one of those where you should consider it a failure. Even if one person shows up and you give them really good content and they love it, and you have a camera there that films them, then now you've got a testimonial you could leverage. So,
Right.
just the key to any of this is just taking action, So, and you got to start somewhere. I mean, Tony Robbins didn't start out speaking to audiences of 10,000 or 20,000 or
Right.
100,000,
Right.
He
Right.
started with
Right.
speaking to an audience of maybe 5 to 10, so you aren't just thrown in there. So start small and then scale it up, or go big or go home, So.
and people, I think the other thing too is people really do want to know this, Paul. Have
They
you
do.
found this? When I start, if I go to a dinner party, if I go
Yeah.
someplace, and people are just kind of talking about something, maybe they're talking about they're talking about publishing a book, and
Yeah.
I just tell them about the stuff that all us marketers just talk about at random,
Yeah.
they think you're a genius.
They do. Yep, they completely do. And, it's just so much fun. And I'm like, it's not intentional because I'm not a very lively. I mean, I like to have fun and everything, but you wouldn't be around me and say, well, this guy's the life of the party. But you put me in any kind of a setting, and all of a sudden there's circles of people around me because they find out what you do, and everybody wants to know, what do you do? Because, they can see that it's different from what most people are doing. And they want that because who doesn't want to work from home for themselves? Who doesn't want to, set their own hours? Who doesn't want to wake up without an alarm, or, travel when they want to travel, or be able to leave when they want to leave? Those types of things, So, of course, it gets their attention. And that's the beauty of it. And that's where doing these live workshops actually gets you in front of those people that maybe aren't out there on Google saying, I want to make money online. They're going to, maybe see this workshop listed in the event calendar on Craigslist and say, oh, maybe I should check it out. So it's a really good way to gain an audience.
Well, man, Paul, I mean, it's been I've been really wanting to do this, and I'm glad that we had the chance to do this. I hope to have you back because, I mean, this is really again. I know a lot of people they wanna do stuff offline. They don't want to consult with small businesses though. They want to go and they want to talk to people offline. And this is a way to do that, right? You don't have to do the small business marketing. You can still though talk to people in your local area.
You can. You definitely can. And you don't have to do that. And just by speaking, you're going to establish yourself as an authority. And so then, even if you don't want to do the small business clients, they might be handing you their business card because they want to do business with you. And then you might have to consider it. It might be a byproduct of it because you're instantly going to be the expert. And that's why I love PLR, and that's why you can leverage my years of experience, or in your case, you sell a lot of PLR, Charles. Your years of experience, you can leverage our authority and have a product to sell, and that's where PLR is dynamite.
Awesome. Hey, everybody, just head on over to GameMindshare.com/counts, and go ahead and pick this up, and then I'll have some other specials there for you also. And then make sure to just keep an eye open for all of the stuff that Paul and his partners, Jeff Wellman and Eric Homeland do. They do some fantastic stuff. Veterans and really some of the good guys in the industry, and I got to tell you, I just really like this. I like this thing. I like being able to go out and really touch people, real people. Not that we aren't real online.
Yeah.
But really gotta go touch people offline. So, man, awesome job, man.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Charles.
Everybody, this is another episode of the Creator Chronicles, and we will see you the next time. With that, thank you very much, everybody. Have a great day and a pleasant tomorrow. Take care.